Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to American Truck Simulator. I'm Martin Wenzel. I'm in Macomb, Mississippi, and I'm going to be probably right. Oh no, we're at Best Buy, so I'm going to be driving down the road about 10 minutes, picking up some fireworks from Walmart. And then taking those fireworks on to Montgomery, Alabama. So we're over here in the coast to coast part of the map, and this is the part of coast to coast that's pretty well populated with textures and signage and roads and stuff. So it's not just dull, textureless scenery-less driving. Actually are some beautiful vistas and some pretty cool stretches of highway out here. And I think this one will show it off pretty good. I know I had one before where we kind of drove through Texas and it was just the bare minimum texture, just road and nothing else. Two Walmarts here in Macomb. We're going to the one on the left. That street sign is on the wrong side of that lamppost. Should probably stop at this gas station, get some gas. We're pretty much empty. Be noticing that the funds are a little bit low, have run a little bit low. We're only $2,720 in the bank right now, and that's because I spent about $21,000 upgrading the engine. Went with I think a 650 horsepower engine now, and it hurts the gas mileage. You can see the gas mileage is 5.4 miles per gallon, and I was around. I went for a while since I was in California, and I drove probably a couple weeks looking at the gas mileage over those couple weeks, and I hung around about about 6.5 miles per gallon. But I was also hauling lighter cargoes. I was trying to stay with like 20,000 to 30,000 pound cargoes, and since I've upgraded the engine, I think all my jobs have been 40,000 plus. So that also will hit your gas mileage a little bit, as will this fireworks job, which is about 50,000 pounds or so. Hitting the wrong buttons always. Wait, now it wants me to go. I can't go that way. So now I gotta go a different direction to get where I want to go. A longer way. Oh well. Bender Boulevard. Wonder if that's a actual road in Macomb. Be the first time driving up, I believe we were driving on, I think it was I-65, might be I-55. But this is the first time we've been on these roads. Been to Macomb, first time to Macomb. Trying to figure out what intersection this is, where this is from, like where this prefab comes from. As most of the cities in Coast to Coast are already existing cities from the vanilla part of the map, from the existing part of the map. But I can't really recognize it. I've noticed a little bit of a hang up there. I've noticed a little bit of a performance boost with the engine. A little bit easier to get up hills. Nothing compared to like jumping into the Tesla, which just cruises. I mean, you have to be careful. You have to try to figure out how to keep that thing slowed down and not running away from you. I'm not sure it was the greatest investment to upgrade the engine. Probably should just hung on to the money and put it towards a new truck or something. I don't know, but we're gonna go work on building up the bank account for whatever that next purchase will be, and I think that next purchase will probably, more likely than not, be some trailer. And I would love to be able to play with the trailers sooner rather than later, and if anything, we'll play with the trailers in Euro Truck Simulator. Owning the trailers until we get enough money over here, or until we get to the point where we can take out a bigger loan, or maybe take out another loan. What I'm planning to do at some point is maybe take out a $500,000 loan, upgrade the garage, get another truck, hire an employee. Man, some serious hang-ups. And that would cost $500 a day, which I think with an employee would be doable and still be able to make a little bit of a profit and build up the bank account again. If I take out another $100,000 loan, though, that would be $400 a day for both those loans, but I definitely wouldn't be able to buy as much. What is going on here? And I didn't stop to pick up the job, so let's go find that manhole. So I guess this trailer is called a Tesla trailer. Trailers that go with the Tesla. I think I have the Tesla mod installed, and so that's probably why this trailer will show up. This kind of trailer. What? Where am I here? Why can't I get... Wow, I am so far off. Why is this so... I had a really good job backing up earlier today when I was making an episode, and now I can't line up to save my life. What is going on? Where am I here? Ay. One of these days, I'm going to be able to actually back up inside the cab and hook up. Today's not one of those days. Alright, so we got 52,000 pounds going to Montgomery Fireworks. I always think I'm going to make it, and then, nope. Nope. Yeah, I think if I had the old engine, I would have to go into the low gear to get going. Alright, get back to the freeway. You'll notice the gas station is a gallon gas station because the real gas stations mod has been discontinued. Not sure why. Hopefully with the release of ATS 1.32, probably in October or late September, someone else gets on that and makes some new gas stations so we can get the real gas stations again. I'm sure there's a mod that includes real gas stations with the logos, but I like the logo setup I have right now. I prefer not to have to change it. So we'll see. Just gonna be a short video today. Only about 5 hours of driving time. Not sure if we'll be able to get to our destination before we have to rest. But we're gonna be starting, start at about 9 o'clock or 9:30 after already bringing the job here. But I wanted to get another American Truck Sim video made up. And I do have free time right now to be able to make a video. The house is quiet. No interruptions. And I really like the area we're in. Want to kind of show it off. Right here in Mississippi and Alabama. Oh my god, so much different than the Scania over at Euro Truck Simulator. That thing, you hit the brakes and you just come to a complete stop almost immediately. Or you come to an immediate stop when you don't need to come to an immediate stop, and then when you do need to come to an immediate stop, then you don't. So it's kind of weird. So I'm sure I've mentioned it in videos before, but in addition to making videos and doing the graphics for my racing league and having my own English school here in China, I also, since 2016, before I even had the English school or was doing the racing and the graphics for the racing league and all that, I got into doing black and white, coloring black and white photos, mostly portraits of American Civil War officers. And originally got into that because I wanted to add some more images for the generals in a Jihad Civil War II strategy game. Alright, so we're on Interstate 55 North going towards Jackson. Got into it and got to the point where I was doing a portrait, coloring a portrait every single day, was putting one out like clockwork. and kind of got burned out of it once I got into doing iRacing, and you know, that kind of drew me away from it. But I've gotten a ton of positive feedback. I have almost 1,000 likes and 1,000 followers on the Facebook page for Colorized Past. And I believe I've done probably at least 300 portraits, 300 pictures, including some pictures that are way more complex and take weeks at a time to do, and others that take just a few hours. And I had a great comment. One of the great first comments I got on the page was from this guy who's doing a documentary about Hungarian Jews who were officers in the American Civil War, who had come over from Europe after probably fighting in the revolutions of 1848 or in the 40s, and were, because they were on the losing side because the revolutions ultimately failed, they had to come to America, and then they fought on the side of the Union for the most part. And I had colored a picture of Colonel Diutassi, who was a Hungarian, and I guess a Hungarian Jew, because this guy posted and said, "Oh, as a Hungarian Jew, I'm so touched to see you colored this picture of Colonel Diutassi." Cool. He then commissioned me to do a few more of his brother, Diutassi's brother, both of them together, General Stale, a few other guys. And that was all well and good. I got a few other comments on the thread about how this just brings everything to life, and again, just really cool stuff. I'm going to try not to miss my interchanges here in Jackson, Mississippi, which looks a lot like Albuquerque. But what are you going to do? So we want to go east on Interstate 20 towards Tuscaloosa. And Jackson, Mississippi looks eerily like Albuquerque. So a lot of positive comments, a lot of positive feedback. I expect some controversy once in a while. People saying, "Oh, that doesn't look so good," or, "How do you know that his hair color was that color?" Or, "That's the wrong eye color." I got comment on that because I did William Sherman, General Sherman, and I gave him blue eyes when he actually had brown eyes, and that was just a misstep on my part, and I have to go back and fix those still. A few comments here and there. It's like about that they didn't agree with the idea of colorization of black and white photos, and that's a debate still rages in this digital age. And people have been coloring photos since there's been photos, actually, and they've been black and white. And you've had the controversy with Ted Turner going back and coloring the old black and white movies, like not Gone with the Wind, but It's a Wonderful Life, and other classics that were in black and white. And he's like, "Oh, we need to put them in color." And they weren't really well done because, of course, 20, 30 years ago when he did that, they didn't have the same technology we have now. And it's still a very hard thing to do. You saw there was the World War II in color on History Channel, and when you look at it, it's kind of like, oh, this is kind of very basic coloring. It's not really too detailed, or it doesn't really make you think it's really in color. Pretty rough. But it just adds a different dimension to it. It's a little bit different than, just seeing the black and white like you always see. Well, the other day, earlier this month, or towards the end of, it might have been just the end of August, I get this guy, Robert Lauer or something like that, and I don't mind sharing his name because this guy's a grade A idiot. He posts and says, "Oh, I see you're a Hungarian. You say you're a Hungarian Jew, but you don't say that. I see that you don't say that you're an American. I'm a patriot, and you should go back. If you don't love America and you're a traitor, you should go back to Hungary." And spells Hungary like I'm hungry. I need some food. Forgot the little A there, Hungary. But what do you expect from someone with such ignorant thoughts? So I respond and I say, "Well, I didn't say I was a Hungarian Jew. I'm actually not a Hungarian Jew. And I go into this later comments. I then later said, it's like, I do have Hungarian heritage, and descended from Hungarian, German, and Czech, from that part of Europe, right? That central, kind of east central part of Europe. And so he shouts back. I didn't actually say I was. I never said I was a Hungarian Jew. That was the first comment. That was that guy. And then he said something about Bolshevik, and you have the mental illness of the Hungarian Jew and the Bolshevik, and you need to go take your pills and lie down. And he's saying this all to me. He's adding me, at Colorized Past, my handle on that page. And I'm sort of confused because it's like, well, he does know that I'm not the one. I'm not the Hungarian Jew. I don't agree with anything he's saying about the Hungarian Jews or I'm, again, not a communist or Bolshevik, but it's like he's just kind of going off on this stuff. And he's like, oh, well, you and your Hungarian friend both have the disease of being descended from Hungarians, so you guys should, get out of America. And I kind of mentioned that the guy from, the guy who's actually a Hungarian Jew who's doing this documentary is Hungarian and lives, I assumed he didn't live in America. I thought he, probably lived in Hungary. Well, it turns out he lives in England. But in any case, it's like, well, that's why he wouldn't say he's American. And why should he be loyal to America if he's a British citizen or just simply living in Britain at this point in time? Maybe perhaps doing research. I don't know. And he's just ranting and raving and everything. He's like, oh, you believe, and then he kind of gets ticked off and he's like, what? I sent him I commented back and I said, why do you have a comment? What does any of this have to do with the Civil War? Do you have a comment about, the pictures themselves? Because you're saying that I have these Bolshevik, I have this Bolshevik Hungarian Jew disease in my mind. Where's the evidence for that? What is leading you to say this, besides some guy saying, as a Hungarian Jew, I appreciate this, referring to himself, not to me. But in any case, what is leading, and he's like, oh, well, why is this crap even showing up on my news feed on Facebook? Everyone knows, okay, well, I don't know. You must have liked the page or something because it wouldn't just show up, right? Or it might show up, but it's probably, as a sponsored ad or something. I don't know because I haven't put on sponsored ads. Maybe one of his friends shared it. Maybe he has a friend that shared it. I don't know. But he's like, why is this stuff showing up on my feed? Everyone knows the Civil War wasn't about slavery. It's just that was just a lie made up by the Jewish Bolsheviks in the North. I mean, heck, Morton Salt up in Chicago still was they were able to keep their slaves and blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, I didn't even want to touch that with a 10-foot pole because, you get in a debate over what the causes of the Civil War were. It was about slavery, but people will agree and disagree, right? There will be a debate. There's a historical debate to be had. I think it's a pretty clear that it was about slavery. Overall, there were other issues at play, but the main one was, of course, slavery. And I think I then kind of waded in and said, yeah, but it was about slavery or something, and he just kept going off. It's like, you need to take your pills and go to bed. You have the mental illness of the Hungarian Jew, you and your Hungarian Bolshevik Jew friend, and all this. Great, we're going to get a little bit of rain. And I was simply flabbergasted. It was just kind of like, what is going on? And one of my middle school teachers, made a comment. I don't know what he said exactly. I can't remember what he said exactly, but the guy then attacks him and says, my teacher being Mr. Clinton, and he says, with a name like Clinton, I'm surprised you're not in jail for raping or murdering someone. Because, of course, everyone who has the name Clinton must be, a rapist or, kind of a scuzzy kind of guy, or, murders people because, of, like, the political Clintons, right? It's like, yes, there's only, right? So, Yeah, it's just an interesting thread going on. I'd never experienced any toxicity like that before. Wow. I do not know what's going on with the transitions there. I was really liking that blue sky and the rain. And if you notice, the raindrops are kind of interesting today. I think this is the first time I've seen it rain in a while on American Truck Simulator. Rain actually kind of slides off the windshield a little bit. Well, I don't like that transition. That transition from the skybox just shifts right to that gray. And so, still trying to figure that one out. Frustrating when it does that. Driving through Tuscaloosa. One of my good friends grew up in Tuscaloosa, I think. I mean, she grew up in Milwaukee, where I'm from, and spent a good amount of time in Tuscaloosa as well, if my memory serves me. But yeah, that was just a very interesting little situation I've had on my Colorized Past page. So I hope you guys go over there, join it, like it, follow it. You can check out the thread and see this guy's rantings and ravings. Hopefully you don't agree with him. You know, he was telling me, I completely forgot that part. He said, it's like, oh, you should go back, you know, and then he was saying, I said, well, I'm from America, and I love America. I consider myself a patriot, I guess. I would love to move back to America at some point. I live here in China, and I have my school, and we're doing pretty well. But I would like to move back to America at some point, be closer to my family, and, you know, other opportunities. The food, the travel that I could do there and everything, but... And then he says, like, oh, well, yeah, but you're a descendant, you know, and I had also mentioned that I was a descendant of immigrants. I was, you know, German, Hungarian, and Czech. And he's like, oh, well, my family's been here since before the country became before America even became a country. The United States even became a country. You know, you're just a visitor, but, you know, enjoy your visit, but get out eventually, right? And I said, it's like, well, I don't even live in America right now. So it's like, well, calm down, dude. But it was just so amazing, the level of hate and ignorance and just I mean, they're out there, and I think it's overblown. You know, I think if you have one opinion about, you know, illegal immigration doesn't make you this guy. Now, I'm sure this guy, of course, you know, doesn't like the Mexican immigrants or anything either. And I have nothing against Mexican immigrants. I don't like the illegal immigration issue, right? You know, I think there are immigration laws. There are laws that my wife will have to follow if we ever want to move back to America. She would have to follow them. She's Chinese. She would have to follow the immigration rules. And that's where I fall on it. I'm not anti-immigrant at all. My family immigrated to America. You know, my great-grandparents immigrated from Germany and Hungary and Czechoslovakia. My wife someday will immigrate to America, God willing. You know, hopefully it's still open, and we can come back and be together in America. But this guy, just the hate that he just in his heart. Well, we are just outside Montgomery. But I'm going to have to pull off here to rest. Running out of driving time. So I hope you... Oh, I should have stayed straight. This is the car parking area. Hope you enjoyed my rant and my little story about what's going on my Facebook page. And enjoyed driving along. Just a little short day today. Driving through Mississippi and Alabama. Weather turned a little sour here, and Skybox didn't really cooperate, but it is what it is. Hopefully I can park this truck. That's so crappily. There we go. That should be a little bit better. Until next time, I'm Martin Wenzel. This is American Truck Simulator. Take care, and happy trucking.